Hi everyone, very good evening to all of you. I hope that we are audible and our video is also clear. Please give a thumbs up if you feel that our audio and video is quite clear, and welcome you all. I welcome Dr. Saurabh Jindal also to this session in which we'll talk about the next 30 days of preparation strategy coming to the NEET exam. Sir, good evening to you.
Thank you, Dr. Praveen. Thank you, and welcome to all dear students. I hope you are geared up for your NEET exam. I can understand the anxiety that all of you would be going through. So we'll discuss today what we can do about it mentally, physically. Some macro planning, micro planning for you would be done.
So guys, first of all, I would like you to just confirm if our audio and video is clear with just a thumbs up if you can give it to us. We're all just waiting for my own video to come up.
Yeah, I'm just also getting the link. One second. Yes, I've got the link. Yes, good. So I can see, Dr. Praveen, can you see?
Right, correct. Hi.
Okay.
So hi everyone, and very good evening to all of you. First of all, just have a smile on your face. You know, that's very important to have this right throughout the next 30 days. It's important that you understand your importance. It's important to have that attitude that yes, you can do it. First of all, don't be in that anxious mode, which many of you are facing. And honestly speaking, all of us are in the same boat. I remember that when I was preparing, the last few days were very tough for me. Thankfully, I had some friends and very dear friends of me who were all preparing together. It was my roommate who actually we were used to prepare together. And daily we used to say, "Chak kuch bhi ho jaye, पढ़ाई करते हैं ना, बाद में जो होगा तो देखा जाएगा." That's attitude is very important. Have a smile on your face, and with that smile, let's start the session. What do you say, sir?
Yes. Yes, one thing I want to tell all of you, bachon, is and we did say that in the all of us are saying only one thing. And the first question all students are asking, all of us, all faculties, no barring on that, is, sir, is it possible to really ramp up our preparation in the last 30 days? Is it possible to do well? And I'm not at the stage where I want to be. And I'm very scared that within a month, will I be able to get to the stage where I believe I'll be able to score? So the first thing all of you have at this time is massive stress. And the problem with, and the reason why this stress is coming is because you are actually trying to foresee your own future. You know, almost looking at a crystal ball which says, oh, I may not do well. So I want all of you, first of all, in this session itself, जैसे हम बोलते हैं ना, त्याग देना है हमें, तो आज आपको इस सेशन में हमारे लिए एक त्याग देना है. और वो त्याग किस चीज का देना है? उस त्याग देना है मिसट्रस्ट. अपने आप पे जो हम बहुत बार मिसट्रस्ट करने लग जाते हैं कि शायद हमसे नहीं हो पाएगा, तो उस चीज को आपने आज हमारे तरफ, जैसे बोलते हैं ना, गंगा जी में हम त्याग करके आए कोई चीज. So please do that today and we'll really discuss, take all your questions. Please believe us that this is almost like a T20 match now. जैसे धोनी को बोलते थे लास्ट 2-3 ओवर में अगर आप 40-50 रन मार गए, so it's going to really change the entire game. So this is that time and we will plan out this time for you.
And honestly, I'm very happy to see all the students who have been so long with us. Hi, Shatabdi and Neha, Sachin. You know, these names have actually become very familiar to us. We've been taking so many sessions right now. And you know, sir, from the students' point of view, what I can ask from there is, sir, GT में score नहीं आ रहा. Basic question मैं बताता हूँ. Sir, GT में score नहीं आ रहा. Sir, when I take out my subjects again, it feels that the entire subject is new.
Yes.
Sir, I'm not able to plan my days ahead. Sir, what to do in the last 7 days? ये सब question के साथ we are being bombarded daily up and down. We try to answer it. Though in the private and in the secret chat that you often make in the Telegram, but I think there's a better way to answer all of our doubts. And the basic doubt, I'll clear it one by one. In fact, the same is why we are actually have come up here. So there was a question Shabdi asking, sir, how to accelerate GT scores and that will actually reflect in the exam. Sir, how to set topics in a day? There's a basic questions being asked, and from that I'll also add one thing, is how to put up anxiety in the coming days.
Yes.
तो सर पहले एक जो शेड्यूल आपने बनाया है एक बार वो शेयर करते हैं and then we'll just start the session.
Yes. So Yes, so as rightly said by Dr. Praveen, that there are some basic questions which I feel almost 99% of you will have, as to whether the GT scores which you have right now, is it an indicator of what will happen after 30 days? And can we increase the GT scores in the next 30 days? So that's the first question I can address. And then after that, I can tell you the schedule that both of us have created for you. So you see that schedule, which I feel is important for you. I think a very important question is GT scores, and that's always going to be a, जैसे बोलते हैं ना, दुखती रग होती है वो. The first point all of you have to understand is one thing, that think of GT scores, think of GT exam. Don't think of it as a rank deciding exam. Think of it as a practice exam, which means what, कि जैसे हम नेट प्रैक्टिस करते हैं, ठीक है, जरूरी नहीं है कि हम नेट प्रैक्टिस में अगर खराब करते हैं तो ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है कि हम मैच में भी खराब करेंगे. नेट प्रैक्टिस अ डिफरेंट थिंग, मैच इज अ डिफरेंट थिंग. यू आर जस्ट प्रैक्टिसिंग द शॉट्स, ठीक है. सेम वे जीटी में आप क्या प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हो, आप क्या देख रहे हो, अब ये देख रहे हो कि आपके ना 70 क्वेश्चन 1 घंटे में हो पा रहे हैं कि नहीं. यू आर डिसाइडिंग स्पीड, दैट्स द फर्स्ट थिंग यू आर प्रैक्टिसिंग द जीटी एग्जाम. तो ये स्पीड जो है, ये तो आपको अगर खराब रैंक भी मिले, अच्छा रैंक भी मिले, स्पीड तो आप प्रैक्टिस कर ही रहे हैं जीटी में. सो दैट्स द फर्स्ट पॉइंट. Second thing, what you're trying to do is, can you focus for 3.5 hours? So that focus and concentration training is what GT exam is all about. It is not as much about the rank. It is not about how you're doing, because exam day is a complete different ball game. So the first point I want you to, all of you to understand, is GT is only a practice for time management, stress management, whether you can think very fast, whether you can solve 70 questions in 1 hour, whether you have some time at the end for review, whether you can concentrate, and is your back hurting, is your posture okay. All these other things are something that is what you're training for, and not really the score. So don't really worry so much about the scores. Okay. Sachin ji is asking, how many GT is advisable to take now in these 30 days? What would you say, Praveen sir? How many GTs do you think?
I think sir, इसको ना थोड़ा सा मैं आंसर करता हूँ. I would just request to make my iPad also a co-host. I can share my screen here. It's more easy for me to. Okay, I can share. चलो.
Good evening, Pavitra. Good evening. Good evening, everyone.
Okay. So, right now, let's talk about how to excel in a GT. First of all, जैसे सर ने बोला ना कि GT को लेके don't take an over pressure. Let's understand GT is just a way of practicing yourself. And the most important thing you should understand is for applying and increasing marks in GT, your timing should be very good. अब timing मतलब क्या हुआ? So we have 200 questions in say 3.5 hours. The first important thing is, how are you giving a GT? So I would advise you one thing, that you divide your time. So this 3.5 hours should be divided into a slot of say 2 hours, and then it should be divided into 40 minutes. And then if you, whatever time is there, so it's around next time, it should be 45 minutes like this, 45 minutes. And then it should be again a 45 minutes time. Now, when I give a GT, what my basic idea is, last में 30 minutes रहेगा. So देखो अब क्या होगा, when you give a GT like this, the first 2 hours, just try to look into those questions which are completely confident about. In this point, only the confident question you should take into, and the long questions, don't even read it, because you waste a lot of time reading this question, and read this question, आपका time जो next part का है, it actually decreases. So reading the question again 2 times. So I would advise you right now to first of all go to all those questions which are actually confident about, and leave those questions in which you're not confident about, and mostly don't even read the question, which is a very, very long question right now. In the next 45 minutes, then try to read those questions which you have not read. So not read question, usko aap padho in the next 45 minutes. So this will take around 2.45 hours. अब देखो हमारे पास, we don't have now 1 hour, we just have around 45 minutes more. अब क्या करना है आपको? In this remaining time, you have to read all the questions which is marked for review. Okay, marked for review. And nowadays, when you give a GT, there's very good option there. आगे देखोगे तुक्काबाजी का भी ऑप्शन होता है. And I think all have seen that. The तुक्काबाजी option को you have to now look into whenever a question in which you're putting a good tukka. just put that option. Yes, I put the tukka, because when you go back and review the GT, it's very, very helpful. Students can understand and know what question that you have just marked like completely tukkabaji, and that will help you to read the answer to that question in a better way. Okay. अब इसमें से the long question are those questions which is very, क्या होता है ना कि you waste a lot of time and ultimately आपको लगता है छोड़ो यार इस क्वेश्चन को. That's a problem number one. The second thing I should advise you here is कि आप जब भी अपना जीटी दे रहे हो ना, अपने आप को पोस्चर सही रखो. जैसे सर ने बोला, बहुत बार हमें क्या था, हम ऐसे बैठ के जीटी दे रहे हैं, बस बेमन से दे रहे हैं, बिकॉज फैकल्टी ने बोल दिया वी हैव टू गिव अ जीटी, वी आर जस्ट पुटिंग अ जीटी जस्ट फॉर सेक ऑफ गिविंग अ जीटी. ऐसा मत करो. प्रैक्टिस इंपॉर्टेंट. जैसे आप नेट प्रैक्टिस करते हो ना, आप घर बैठ के थोड़ी प्रैक्टिस करते हो. तो द राइट एटमॉस्फेयर इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. जस्ट कीप अ पीस ऑफ पेपर with you so you can write those points in which you are getting confused. Please keep just a cup of water or a bottle of water and nothing around you. Don't get up while appearing for a GT. The exam pattern should be exactly reciprocated, okay, and replicated. The second thing is, when you give a GT, it is very good important point to write those questions in which you are not being very confident about. So पूरे question को मत लिखो, just लिखो question number में क्या confusion, 3 confusion है, 6 confusion है, or 5 confusion, whatever it is. So that at the end of the GT, these are the main question you will be mostly focusing upon. Okay, yes, second point. The third point is that many times what is happening, the question number 1 से लेके, and tell me honestly, how many are doing this? Question number 1 से लेके 100 एकदम full फाटे दिया, एकदम बढ़िया से दिया question. From question number 100 to 120, 130 एकदम पढ़ते गया. Don't even mark the questions. It is just in a hurry कि question GT खत्म करते हैं. And 130 option पे तो पढ़ा ही नहीं. अब हो क्या रहा है ना, if you are not reading every question, your marks cannot improve. The intensity of reading the question number 1 it should be same as reading question number 200, because every question is important. You cannot judge just because you have not fared very well in the first few questions of the GT doesn't mean that this other question would be also very difficult. So don't judge before you give a GT कि आपका performance कैसा है. Just give a GT like a practice exam and उसमें read question number 1 से लेके 200 with the same intensity. And one way of doing that is just keep in a proper atmosphere, sit in a way that you will give in a main exam. Don't lie in your bed or don't lie somewhere very much distracted. Take a atmosphere where you want to have a undistracted complete attention for 3.5 hours. Once you are done with the GT, अब आता the main point, review of the GT. यहाँ पर many students are lacking. देखो जितना important GT देना है, please understand this thing. Its same importance is to review a GT. Now, how would I review a GT? I would first see a GT. I will review the question which I have done wrong. Okay, wrong questions. Because I need to understand that wrong question went from where? Was it from my notes, number 1? Or was it from something which I have not read it at all? Or something which is not in my notes completely? So that is first thing I should look into, wrong questions. Second, the question which is completely left out. Okay, and is it possible that in the left out question, if I have marked this something like complete tukkabaji, would that have been correct or wrong? Okay, so this will help you to improve the marks in the next GT. Okay, so second thing you should look into those questions which are completely left out. And thirdly, you must look into those questions in which you have not even read, matlab, which I don't know the question mark wala, jo aajkal tukkabaji laata hai, that also should be looked into completely. After doing this, now comes the question, so should we look at the notes or make a new note? I'm telling you one thing, do, and please write this somewhere. I would not take any new resources in the next 30 days. Point number 1, because if you take a new resource, everything is gone. It should be held in your mind. I will not read a new resource. So I'll just go back to my notes again. Notes ko 20 baar padho, it's better than reading something new even for one time. Please again rely on the notes. Now comes the question, sir, what if that question was not in the notes? Koi baat nahi. I think you all have made the 20th notebook. If at all, good. If not, just that piece of paper you have made in the first attempting the GT, just write that question answer in that piece of paper and ensure yourself that if the same question comes ever in the next 30 days, you won't make it wrong. So if you do this, I think your mark should surely improve. Secondly, the number of attempts. Well, I really believe that number of question attempting in the main exam should be really around 190. If you're attempting in a GT 170 question, you can't expect to get more than 90, 100 correct if you're not in that revision mode of time. So I really want you to increase your scoring and attempts in the GT only. That practice should be done right now. एक काम करो आप लोग, next GT में those who are attending 170, try to attend 190. And the 20 question actually putting extra, see how much question actually got wrong. You realize by mathematical calculation, even if you make 20 question में 3-4 question correct, it's null and void, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. Because 4 correct, 16 wrong, it's same as 0. But if you get one more question extra, your marks actually jumps up. So try to increase your attempts by a way of extracting the options one by one. I'll just also answer one more question which is being asked right now. कि सर जो long question होता है ना वो मैं छोड़ दे रहा हूँ. I'm not able to complete the GT. I'm therefore telling you, please time your GT well. First look into those questions which you actually were very confident about. Then look into those questions which are wrong. And ultimately review those questions which are marked for review. That's a basic way of giving a GT. Else क्या होगा? 3.5 घंटे पार हो जाएंगे and you're not even finished reading the questions. And if that is happening to you, I think next 5 GT that you're actually giving right now is very, very crucial in you preparing for a better time. I'll come back to you. I'll just ask Dr. Jindal's view on this and we'll again come back to you.
Right. Yeah, so very nicely put by Dr. Praveen. He and what he's told you is really the mantra how GT should be attempted and how you should give them. Now, one question, Dr. Praveen, because you're speaking about GT, so I can ask you, which I think we have not addressed in what you said, is everybody's asking how many GTs, the number they want to know till 5th March.
बेटा देखो, honestly बता रहा हूँ, I feel that the last GT you should be giving, last GT, must be 7 days before the exam. So I won't be giving any GT in the last 7 days. That is my view. Okay. So today is 3rd of February. So I would be giving 5 GT in this month. And this 5 GT should be around after every 5th day, because only then you will be able to give 5 GT. So if you're given 1 GT in the 1st of February, on the 1st of February, just give 4 more. Last GT should not be in the month of March, wo kam mat karna, because anything goes up and down. Your confidence may just change in that amount of time. So bottom line, 5 GT in the month of February, no GT in the month of March.
Right. So that clarifies the question on how many GTs we feel you should be giving. And I think all of us, I also agree that you should be giving GT on the exact same time as your NEET exam. It should be, sir, your volume, I think, okay. So it has to be between 9 and 12:30. So that is why all of us need to know that we have a biology. Some of us are late risers, some of us are not very fresh in the morning. So your GTs has to be as close to the environment as the real exam. That's the only way, and you have to give it with the same. And this much also I want to tell you that when you give GTs, unfortunately, you are very relaxed. And in the NEET exam, you're going to be extremely tense. So what I want all of you to do is when you give your GT exams, your emotions should also try and match what emotions you're likely to have in the NEET exam, meaning there has to be a bit of element of stress and there has to be a bit of element of performance. And what if I don't do well? That kind of a thing is really going to simulate what we want you to do. So I think now I can just share, Dr. Praveen, the macro planning and the micro planning that we feel you can do. Yeah, so I think after that we'll talk about the emotional part of it also, because that's also important to do. Yeah. Okay. So broadly speaking, what I think we should be doing is, and this is the macro planning. Obviously, you can tinker with it a little bit if you feel you want to do it in a different way. But out of the 30 days, I feel that we should be able to take about, for the short subjects, about a day each. Okay, a day each. So skin anesthesia, radiology, psychiatry, then ENT, ortho, ophthal, FM, peds. So that becomes about 9 subjects. So it's about 9 days that we do here. A lot of students will say, sir, I cannot finish derma in 1 day. I cannot finish peds in 1 day. That is ridiculous. How are you even saying that? The first point all of you need to understand is you don't have the luxury. The only luxury you don't have is time. So how you should do? How can you complete a full portion in 1 day? That's not possible, right? That's just not possible. So I hope all of you, when you have done at least one reading of the notes, have some markings done. So the first thing all of you need to do is look at the markings, look at the highlighted points, and that is why you need to really do that very well. Now, unfortunately, when you do it anything fast, you will get a feeling as if, sir, I have not retained properly. I'm just going too fast. It looks as if I'm doing it for the heck of it. But trust me on this, you cannot doubt yourself at this time. That's the one thing you don't want to do. You don't want to doubt yourself. You just want to just go through, finish the portion, try and concentrate and focus as much as possible. And for that, what I wanted to do is try to remove all distractions right now and negativity from your head. That's the only way to focus and concentrate. So try and do this. And what you have to do is, in those 9 days which you have, whatever you feel that this topic is really difficult and I've just not caught it, put it into a small copy, make a small copy, okay, and put those only those things which you will revise in the last 5-6 days. Only those things you will say. So dharma, you think this part is not really good, you're not confident at all, so just put that into a new notebook and write that topic out. So we'll revise that later on. That's the first point I want you to look at. So 9 days we are giving to the short subjects. Now in the medium length subjects, anatomy, biochemistry, physiology, microbe, pharma, patho, we would want to, again, obviously it's very difficult to cram all the 19 subjects into 1 day, 1 month, but we are trying to do that. So that looks to be 9 days. Again, obviously very difficult. I can understand that. I can understand that sentiment on that, but that is the only way to finish the portion. Okay. 2 days per subject, long subjects, medicine, surgery, OBGY, PSM. So that is 8 days for that. Now, what some students can also prefer to do is, if you feel medicine is too much to do continuously for 2 days, you can combine medicine for 3/4 of the day, and maybe in the last half of the day, then you can put a bit of skin. So if I say skin, dermatology is going to be 1 day, you can divide it into 2 halves. Okay, and that's what we need to understand. That's the first point. This is the longer, this is the macro outline. In the last 5-6 days which you get, then okay, you have to then look at only those notebooks that you have created in the first 25-26 days, which where you only the very vulnerable, volatile topics which you feel you just have to know at the end, otherwise you will forget. That's what you want to do. And very important, in the end, the main thing is, as you get closer to the exams, your performance and memory will go down drastically, because the only thing that stress eats up the most is memory. And you try to recollect anything when you are very panicky and stressed, you can't remember, right? So all your effort will go waste if you don't try and relax. Okay, now also, and obviously in the last 5-6 days, relaxation becomes more and more vital. As you near the exam, we'll talk about how we want to do that. Now this is about the macro planning that I think all of us can kind of agree on, because that's the only way to divide your subjects. That's a very divide the subject. Now and then how I believe you should be doing a daily planning. Okay, well, how do you, when this is how I would do it. You can obviously tinker around and see if this suits you, but this is something that gives me the most amount of relaxation and the most amount of time. Okay, so what we should do is, whenever you wake up in the morning, always remember to start your day with a lot of positivity. Start to put in actively some good thoughts in your head, so that the stress of the day doesn't really make you collapse. So that's a very important thing. Put some, put some nice song in the morning. Try to not think of that as waste of time, but maybe think of that as just relaxation. And you start the day with, because you know a battle is coming, so at least you should be relaxed in the morning. When you get up, put some nice smell in the morning, maybe an agarbatti or some kind of perfume thing or whatever. Make your room nice, and then get into your room. And then when you start, you can take about 30 minutes in the morning to get ready. So that should be what you should be doing. Okay, then I think you should not do more than 2-hour sessions at one time for reading, because we are looking at 5 sessions of 2 hours each. So get your 2 hours first session. So that's, you start with half an hour of your getting ready, 2 hours of your first session. So that becomes, I'm just tentatively saying 8:30 to 10:30, just tentatively I'm giving you these times. You have to do very fast reading. Fast reading is the main essence here. Okay, no distraction. Read only the highlighted points of your notes, or if somebody else's notes are there, you can do that. I want you to take a 15-minute break. Okay, every 2 hours. It's very important. Okay, don't think of that as a waste of time. It's actually investment for the next 2-hour session. In this break time, I want all of you to practice a little bit of meditation. I told all of you in the motivation video about the Insight Timer app. Download that. Just 10 to 15 minutes of breathing in and breathing out is really going to be the fuel you will put in that car which is already exhausted with one session. Then you are ready for the second session, again 2 hours, right? Then I'm giving you about 45 minutes for lunch plus a bit of power nap. If you feel you're good with 10-15 minutes of a power nap, do that, okay? And you get your lunch. Important to have a light lunch, not a heavy lunch, okay? And skip your carbohydrates as much as possible. Third session, again, I'm giving you 3 hours, then again a 15-minute break, again 2 hours, fourth session, and then I'm giving you a 30-minute break because now we've completed 4 sessions and a fifth session of 2 hours. This is now 5 sessions, and every 15-minute session break that I'm giving you, try and do that 10 minute of breathing in and breathing out. I'm telling you, this will really, really help you as you near closer to the exams, because we know the stress is going to increase. So how will you prepare for that stress? Because the stress will, will completely ruin your performance. You have worked so hard for 1 year, and the last you don't want to spoil that. Okay, so this becomes 5 sessions, which I believe of 2 hours each. This is the reading time. Okay, and then at the end of the day, I feel you should be then getting to your MCQs. Okay, now MCQ time, you have to do MCQs fast. When you practice MCQs, you have to do fast. Okay, and this fast MCQs are required because you are going to read like that in the exam. So don't, what happens most times, students will always read slowly when they're doing in the house. Okay, and this is so important. So can you see what I've divided? I'll just go up. You can take a snapshot if you want. Okay, and this is really how this is enough. And but very important, very important, that 15-minute time is your investment. Don't waste that break time. Don't scroll TV, don't scroll mobile phones. Just meditate every time. So it's about, you can make out about 45 minutes of meditation right throughout the whole day. Okay, in the MCQ time, in the end, I want to take about 1 to 2 hours for MCQs. In that, I want you to do previous year questions. In this, I want you to do 9 papers. I want you to do three NEET exams. Okay, 3 years. I want to do INI CET at least of 2 years, so 2 exams each. So that becomes 4. If time permits, I want to do the FMG papers as well. Now, in that 1 to 2 hour time in the end, okay, I don't want you to read anything new. Okay, so only MCQ practice. And you can do these one-shot videos that we are creating for you, the bank that we are creating for you. These one-shot videos are really going to be that booster, the cherry on the cake that you will have. Okay, and I want you to sleep for 6 to 8 hours. Now, many students will say, sir, it is so difficult to sleep at night. I agree. You know what you should do? The same Insight Timer app. Okay, the same Insight Timer app. You start that 10-minute meditation, and guess what? It's so easy to fall asleep while the meditation is going on. Most of us have that experience that when we do shavasana or something and there's a meditation playing, you automatically go to sleep even before the meditation is over. So try and use that skill of meditation to become sleepy, and then you will sleep, and then that entire morning baggage will go away and you wake up fresh in the morning. So try that, because even near the exams, you will find a lot of lack of sleep. So this, I think, would be my way of scheduling your days, macro and micro. Over to you, Dr. Praveen.
Thanks, sir. It was, I think, a well-spoken macro and macro schedules. Sir told you about the every detail of the time, कैसे एक घंटा utilize करना है. And very importantly, sir, what I found in your schedule was to give a break after 2 hours. And a very important point that sir told, and I think everyone should understand that it's not a time waste. It's an investment for the next 2 hours. Because unless you don't recharge yourself, you won't be able to continue for the next 2 hours. And forget about next 2 hours. आपको पढ़ना next 30 days के लिए. So 30 days into, say, 12 hours a day, that's really is going to make a lot of difference in your preparation strategies. I'm often asked, sir, is it possible to get a rank within 10,000 if I start now? Now, what do you mean by when if I start now? Is it that you're opening a book for the first time? I don't feel so. It is just that you're having a self-doubt now. I have not read well in the last few days, and therefore I want to start now. So again, we talk about this confidence level going down. It's very important to have that confidence. Tell yourself daily when you get up that, yes, I can do it. That should be there to you. When you find anxious, you have a lot of anxiety going on, just close your book, go out and just have a deep breather. And when you go out, don't take your, all those problems with you outside. enjoy nature that time. Do not take your mobile phone outside. तुम बाहर जाके mobile phone देख रहे हो, the same issues with your friends who are facing the same problem. Don't do. You go outside, you have a complete blank mind, enjoy nature, take deep breaths. जैसे सर ने बताया 10, 15, 20 breaths, उसको लेते रहो. When you come back again, you can start it with a new fresh of mind. It will happen that again you have to go for maybe 2 to 3 times a day. That's okay. It's completely okay. And therefore we want you to take a break. The break is really an investment for the next 2 hours. It's very, very important. Since I've seen a lot of doubts, I was trying to solve this also in the chats here. Most of you were asking about, sir, whether should I revise the notes or should I revise the PYQ? Now, there should be a good balance between these two. I believe that, in fact, I'll say, I also asked Dr. Jindal's view on this. Ki, sir, when we are trying to revise in this last 30 days, what should be our ratio of the PYQs or the MCQs with the notes? What is your take, sir?
Sir, I feel the most important are still going to be the notes. That is going to be the basis of your preparation. PYQs are very important. PYQs, I feel, should be done at the end of the day when you are very tired and you can't retain any new information. So I have given, that's why in the schedule I've given about 1 to 2 hours for MCQs and PYQs. But the bulk of the day is still the notes, and that is going to be the real way, because I don't believe anyone here has not done notes in the past, and I'm assuming that. Now, if there's someone who's just not done any notes, then obviously I have nothing to say apart from saying, okay, just do the PYQs and see if tukka lag jaye. But I feel it's going to be majority the notes, that and it should be your handwritten notes yourself. You should not really be xeroxing them and looking at somebody else's notes, and then you will then do the PYQs at the end.
Just to add this point, we all are marathon runners. We have been running this race for the last 6 months. और मैराथन रनर को आपने देखा होगा, लास्ट में दे रन विद फुल स्पीड, दैट एनर्जी, एक्स्ट्रा एनर्जी कमिंग अप देयर. तो वो एक्स्ट्रा एनर्जी आपको लाना पड़ेगा, एंड फॉर दैट द ईटिंग हैबिट इज वेरी, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. एक बात को ध्यान रखना, जस्ट डिक्रीज योर कार्ब इनटेक is important. Protein is very important. It helps us to have that mental strength also. Fatty diet को थोड़ा सा हम balance out कर सकते हैं, but when you take enough of carb, you feel sleepy a lot. And I think Dr. Jindal का ने तो पूरा session ही लिया हुआ है about this dietary things, and you don't want to feel a bit at all fatigueness right now. Sir, your take on this?
Sir, actually, good that we brought that up, because today actually I not for this video, but I was just, and I read about 1 hour of randomized controlled trials on actually the foods which will increase memory in as soon as 15 to 20 days. So I'll just tell all my students actually the scientific data on which foods are actually known to boost memory, concentration, and focus. And the first all of you need to have is omega-3 fatty acids. Okay, especially DHA. Okay, DHA is one of the best ways to boost brain strength, because it releases something called as BDNF, okay, which is a brain-derived neurotropic factors. So that's the chia seeds, flax seeds, omega-3 fatty acids. That's one of the most important things I feel all of you should do. It seems that haldi, turmeric, okay, and you might say, oh, that doesn't make a difference, but what if it makes 1% of difference in your schedule? That becomes very, very important. So these two things are one of the most biggest memory boosters that you have around omega-3 fatty acids. Choline is important basically, and turmeric, which is curcumin, basically is important. One thing which really puts down your memory is any form of refined carbohydrates and sugars. So that's something that you stay very away from, okay, and boost your concentration with these other things. One thing all of you should do to increase concentration is do a bit of stretching, okay. Now we know that exercise also increases BDNF levels in your brain, okay, brain-derived neurotropic factors. So in those 15-minute break times, the things that you will really do is breathe and move. Two things all of you need to do: breathe and move. Okay, so if you just sit and just do these, that's more than enough to increase the concentration. Okay, and always stay erect in your chair, the army posture. Don't slack, otherwise your memory again tries to go down. So I think this is really a way, and I can tell you, if you're not even on the app, you can do a 6-6-6 technique. 6 seconds in breath, 6 seconds hold, and 6 seconds out. It's called the 6-6-6 technique. Even if you do this for 5 to 6 minutes, and I have personal experience of that, in about 5 to 6 minutes, you will start to find a lot of calming presence, a lot of reduction of cortisol, a lot of happy, kind of relaxing hormones coming out, and you will not feel as stressed about the exam. All of you are feeling so stressed because you're not doing anything to resolve the stress. Okay, so what are you doing? Are you doing anything actively to resolve the stress? No, right? So what should you do? Breathe and move. I think that should be excellent that we have. Okay, I think one question, Dr. Praveen, we can take from this. I am okay. 1 second. Not able to recall. Good evening, sir. Not able to recall what to do. You want to take that up, Dr. Praveen? Student
I think this really needs to be addressed because students have been facing this a lot as to how to, I'll just again share my screen here. Let me just divide the students who are actually preparing right now into 3 categories. The entire spectrum here. So one of those who have really read their notes very well. So notes have been revised 2 to 3 times. On the other side, who are starting preparation right now. And I'll say the big chunk of the students are here who have been revising notes, say once or twice, maybe once or twice, but they're not very confident in. They're not very confident in. If you talk about a GT score, so starting May, GT, I don't think they'll be giving a lot of GT, but the score might be around 60 to 80, something where here like this. For those who are revised their notes 2 to 3 times, and they have been scoring in GT around 140 plus. And then we have a student who are scoring us around 120, that is plus minus, I'll say 20. Those who are in this category, you don't need our advice. You just need to believe on yourself. You need to just focus on the notes reading. And to improve your score even more, you can go to the FMG last 3 years MCQs. You can go to all the PYQ topics and read them very well. I think this is what you can do just to enhance your score from 140 to 150, maybe 160, and you have no end to that. Okay. Now let me talk about the students who have read the notes once and they have been scoring at 120 plus minus 20. Again, for you, it's very important to don't take any new resources. The new notes or new resources should be completely no to you. So if you have read a notes even one, and now you're not even confident about, what you must do is, first, you must read a previous year questions. That's the first thing to do. So suppose जैसे सर ने एक schedule दिया था आपको, and tomorrow my schedule says that I'm going to read surgery. So how would I approach surgery is, I will first read all the PYQ of last 3 years or the NEET exam, 3 years of NEET exam, and then I'll just understand that what are the MCQs which are asked in the last 3 years. Anything which is not asked in the last 3 years, still I have that freedom to leave the topics when I read from the notes. So that will decrease your notes bulk volume of say from 100 pages to just 50 pages. So now after reading the PYQs, then go back to the notes and try to revise it. Okay. Now with the notes, I want all of you to make an effective way of revision. And if you ask me, sir, how many revision? I can't I can't burden you with 2-3 revisions right now. The way that sir told, the number of hours you can give and the days you can actually put into, I think you can revise it once more in the month of February. That's it. And if you do this, really is sufficient, really is sufficient. Okay. Now coming to those spectrum who are GT score is around 60 to 80 and they're starting their preparation. I think you cannot read anything new again. You cannot take a new video. But if you have to actually get a decent number in the main NEET exam, I think you should also go to the previous year question. Now, you don't have a liberty to read the topics also, but at least go to the PYQs. Okay. And for very high yielding subjects, you can watch the rapid revision videos also. For only for those high yielding subjects, which are, we believe that is actually gynae ops, it is surgery, it is PSM, it is path pharma, and apart from that, the short stories can be covered by the PYQs only. I think that is what you can do right now. Now, if you're able to do this thing, I think your score should improve from 60 to 80 to around 100 marks. Now, to those students who are feeling that, sir, I am forgetting a lot. Okay. So for those who are forgetting a lot, please understand one thing. You don't have to read everything in the notes right now. Since you've read the notes again, just take out the notes, just flip on the pages, gaze on the pages. You will be surprised to know that most of the things will be actually coming to you in the main exam just by the position in which you mentioned that. वो पोजिशनिंग इंपॉर्टेंट है, इसको राइट साइड ऊपर लिखा था, इसको राइट साइड लोअर लिखा था. And sometimes it happens कि we are not reading the entire notes because we don't remember. It's okay. क्या होगा ना, in that big table, if you don't remember all the lines, all the columns, all the rows, कोई बात नहीं. उस पूरे पूरे टेबल में just read 2 to 3 things. I leave everything else. Because 2 to 3 things on the big table will help you to at least rule out one option. And please understand, we are not here to write a long question. We are not here to write a short question. The answer is in front of you. Something should click to your mind that इसको कहीं देखा था, और वो तभी होगा जब तुम अपने नोट्स को बार 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 देखोगे. सो लॉट ऑफ टाइम्स वी टॉक अबाउट दिस थिंग कि सर how to increase your score. One of the biggest thing you should do right now is focus on your notes only. Please trust your notes, trust yourself. Do not take out anything new. Solve the PYQs again and again, which whatever resources you have. And just forget to mention one more thing. Anyone who's scoring 140 plus and you have bookmarked most of the GT questions or any question you solved in the last 3, 4, 5 months, it is the right time to again go back and read those questions if you have really bookmarked in a way. अब कुछ लोग क्या करते हैं, बस बुकमार्क करते चलते हैं बाद में पढ़ेंगे. फॉर दैट आई थिंक द नंबर ऑफ क्वेश्चन विल बी टू मच एंड यू विल वेरी confusing yourself. So for you, for those who have really bookmarked in a way you wanted to revise it, it's the right time to revise those questions also along with your regular reading of the notes.
Right. So one question which Jha, I think, has asked me is, and I think that's a very valid question to address, is that when you read, when you're reading, when your eyes are open and you have notes in front of you, you feel, okay, I can do it. But you almost try to check yourself. When you close your eyes, then you say, okay, abhi jo maine 10 minute pehle padha tha, can I remember that? And I can tell you for myself and for all faculties also, all of us have had that same experience, that you feel, 5 minutes before you go into the exam hall, you feel as if it's a new thing. You feel you will not remember anything inside the exam hall and you will just come out blank, okay, without having. And guess what? There's a magic to this. You have read, it's just that you can't recollect. And trust me on this, when there is an exam there, as sir said, there is the answer is right in front of you. That's the biggest advantage of an MCQ, that there is an answer in front of you. Okay, and obviously there are 4 options, one will be right. It's not that when you are writing an essay, there's no answer in front of you. So the first benefit you have is there is something there, and then you trust that there is some neuronal synapses which will just hit in that exam hall, and it's something that all of us have gone through. So first of all, don't have that feeling. Don't try to cross-check yourself. Don't try to predict the demise. All of us are very negative right now and trying to predict that something negative is going to happen. Please don't do that. Okay. Sachin Kumar is asking the best source of PYQs. In our e-Gurukul app, there is a section of recall questions. We're also working as a management on one new thing. All of you know that PYQs are so important. So it's something that is now being thought of, is we are possibly going to start a PYQ series very soon, and we would possibly be able to finish it hopefully before your exams are over. Each faculty will come and discuss PYQs. So this is just in the idea phase at this time, and I hope this is going to pass through, and you will get PYQs at one place. So you can quickly go through this at the end of the day, and we are working on that. I think this will really be important. So that's something that all of you have to know. Okay. And one more thing is, you will at this time you will have so many students around you who will have different notes. Some different institutes will have different notes, some different online will have a different note, and you will have a FOMO feeling. You will feel, oh, I have not done this, I have not done that, and that's the surest way to do badly in the exams, that you are trying to copy something, some other institute. So don't do that. You have to only be within your particular notes. Okay, not even 1% you should go out of your notes. Okay, remember one thing, that most questions in exam are medium toughness or easy questions. Then tough questions are very rare, and the good part about tough questions is most students don't answer. So those are not rank deciding questions. So always prepare for easy to moderate questions and leave the tough questions. So easy to moderate are always there in your notes. So don't worry, trust the notes, trust your teacher, and trust yourself to be able to do that. Okay, so images are very important, especially for subjects like pathology, anatomy, and microbiology, dermatology. Okay, so you can revise those fast. Images can also be done in one shot revisions. We have also given you images, so don't worry about that. You are having that. Okay, so that will really be important. Dr. Praveen, you want to take up any question which students are asking?
Sir, I was just answering them also on the live chat, and I think we have answered a lot of questions as such. We shouldn't take a lot of time for them because we also want them to study as such. If you have any quick question, you can just put it here. But I think it's time to again go back to your studies also. That's more important.
Yeah.
सो नोट्स पढ़ना है, पीवाईक्यूज के टॉपिक्स देखने हैं, जीटी 100% देने हैं, जीटी को रिव्यू करना है और अच्छा खाना है. You have to stay healthy. You have to do a small exercise, not a बिल्कुल जिम में नहीं जाना है अभी बिल्कुल, but you too should do a small exercise, maybe stretching exercises, make a deep breathing exercises, but those should become a part of your daily routine. These things are very important. जब हम पहले घर में रहते थे तो हमारे पापा मम्मी क्या कहते थे, सुबह उठ के पहले थोड़ा फ्रेश हो जाओ फिर पढ़ने बैठो. तो वो सब इंपॉर्टेंट है, वो थी और आज भी रहेगी. ईट हेल्दी. ओके, ऐसा मत करना कि शाम में मूड बना और जाके आइसक्रीम खा लिया. अगर तबियत खराब हो जाए इट विल वेरी डिफिकल्ट फॉर यू टू जस्ट अगेन कम बैक टू द नॉर्मल सेंसेस. सो इट्स बेटर इंपॉर्टेंट टू जस्ट अवॉइड दोस थिंग्स व्हिच इज नॉट इंपॉर्टेंट राइट नाउ इन योर लाइफ. जस्ट आस्क योरसेल्फ व्हाट आर यू डूइंग राइट नाउ. Will it help me in actually getting few other questions correct on the 5th of March? If it is yes, do that. If it is no, don't do that. Simple answer to all of your queries that you are actually asking us.
Right. So
I think we should, if you have anything to add up, you may, else we'll just find it off here.
Yeah, so I think one thing is, don't worry. What I need you to understand is all of us need to be prepared with stress management. My only advice to all of you is be prepared for the stress which is going to come. Okay, so prepare that, work on it. See, memory doesn't come on its own, and stress reduction doesn't come on its own. You have to work at it. So you have to know that that 30-45 minute schedule I created for you is basically one of the best ways you can actually have the most efficiency and output. Okay, so trust yourself. Don't go into FOMO. Don't try to be scared about what will happen. And at the end of the day, this is an exam. It's one step in your life. It's not the end of the world. So whatever happens, most of you will land up somewhere. Okay, some of you will get your preferred field, some of you will not, but it's still not the end of the world. So don't take it so seriously that you completely compromise your health and life at this stage. Okay, so with this, I think all of you will take a leave, and will like the fact that all of you can give us a feedback on this chat as to what you felt about this thing. Will not take too much of time, as sir said, because I want all of you to study, right? So I think parting words from all of you will be best wishes, good luck, and trust yourself to cross the line.
Take care, guys. Best wishes. Let's again meet again after some days just to take care of queries again. अभी सबसे important है पढ़ाई करना है. Everything else is a secondary thing. Goodbye.
We'll do PYQs also. Don't worry. We'll do PYQs. We'll work PYQs with you. Most students are saying PYQs. So we are working on it. So give us some time, and we know that you will really shine. And we'll give you those PYQ package together. We'll try and work on that. Don't worry. Thank you.